I've been talking a lot lately about how to pivot your business so that you can adapt and thrive during this time. And I was talking with a friend recently about the kind of key elements that you need to look at in order to adapt and be successful during this time. And he was saying to me, actually, you need to say more about this. You need to make it more clear to people how they can actually adapt their business during this time. So that inspired me to talk to you guys about how to adapt your business and really make it explicitly clear how you can do that. So there are really just three things you need to consider. There are really only three things that you are going to be changing in your business in order to adapt and thrive. And that's really good news, right? So those three things are your audience, your marketing message, and your offering. So those are the only three variables that you need to look at. So for your business, what you need to think about is, can I keep the same audience, but simply adapt my marketing message so that it is relevant to them and what's top of mind for them at this time during the crisis period? And basically have the same offering, sell the same offering, and it's the same audience. Is that all I need to adapt in order to be able to thrive during this time? So essentially that's what I've done. I am selling the same product to the same audience. I'm selling my client generated program to my audience of coaches and consultants. So it's the same audience, but I've adapted my message and I've made additional free resources to help with the situation that's going on right now. But essentially what my audience needs is the same program that I've already been delivering, because they need to be able to get more leads in through LinkedIn so that they can continue to grow their business and continue to market their business and actually, continue to make sales. And I help them with adapting their business to to the situation. So I help them with these three areas of figuring out their audience, knowing what their marketing message needs to be, and knowing what their offering is. So essentially for me, it's been really easy to adapt to this change. All I've done is just change my marketing message a little bit, but I've got the same audience and the same offering. Okay, so that's the kind of easiest adaptation. There's a medium level difficulty adaptation. Okay, the next one along is where you have the same audience, but you're adapting your marketing message and you're changing your offering. So you're adapting your offering too. So basically that means that 2 out of the 3 elements are changing and only 1 element is staying the same. So do you see how that's like more medium difficulty? That's like the next along. And in this situation, I've got quite a few clients in this situation where they're going back to the same audience that they've been working with, that they've been providing leadership coaching or executive coaching to, or even consultancy services to. So going back to the same audience, but they've created a new offering, which is really addressing what the new needs are for their existing audience, given the crisis and what's going on. And they're adapting their marketing message. So their marketing communication around how they're talking about what they're doing, that has changed. So do you see what I mean? Medium difficulty, you same audience, but you're just going back to the existing clients and offering them something new that's going to help them with solving their problems at this point in time. So an example of this is I've got a client who is a leadership coach, and she has developed a resilience training that she's going back to her existing clients and offering this resilience training to them to address the employees who are feeling stressed, or the teams that are feeling stressed and they're feeling loss of motivation. And so she's going to help with that with this offering. Does that make sense? So the next more difficult level, so the most difficult level, is where all 3 elements are changing, where you have a new audience that you're creating a new offering for, and therefore you have a new marketing message as well. That means all 3 elements are adapted. So that's the biggest shift and the biggest challenge. And what that might look like is that you've actually got to create a completely new product for a completely different audience with a different marketing message, because actually you can't do a smaller pivot than that. You can't just create something for the same existing audience. That just isn't a possibility. Okay. So that's a more tricky one. But I have a client who's doing that. She's wonderful. She's a video production expert and digital marketer, and she does amazing work with corporates, producing videos for them, but they're at a premium price. So what she's doing is she's creating a online course, which is going to help small business owners with knowing how to create video at home to be able to generate leads for their business. And she's, selling this online course at a lower price point. So it's a different audience from her core audience of corporates. It's a different offering because it's an online course. And so her marketing message is completely different as well. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to clarify that for you. If you were kind of thinking, how do I thrive during this time? What does my plan need to be? There's only 3 elements you need to think about: audience, marketing message, and offering. And you just need to decide, can I do the small level of difficulty, medium level of difficulty, or biggest level difficulty of adapting? Okay. And the biggest level of difficulty could actually be the most fun. All right, this could actually be the product that ends up making your business most robust during this recession. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to go for that higher level difficulty. I actually have a product in mind that's going to be coming up soon that I will let you know about, which is a completely new audience, a completely new offering, and a completely new marketing message. So if you are wanting help or needing help with how to plan in order to make your business market, in order to make your business thrive during this time, then I'm hosting a webinar this coming Wednesday, and I would love you to be there. I'm going to be going into this in a lot more depth. So you're going to get a real sense of how you need to adapt your business to move forwards during this time. So make sure you join me. The link is in this post. Click on the link to register, and I look forward to seeing you on the webinar.